Brad Lander picked the most contaminated site in the state to build the only deeply affordable housing in Gowanus. So homeless families.
Wait, hold on. I thought the entire point of this upzoning project was to get deeply affordable housing throughout the whole area.
Well, to hear Brad Lander tell it, he would say that the whole Gowanus rezoning was about affordable housing, but the only deeply affordable housing is on the most contaminated site, and it will be built last, if it is ever built at all, after all the luxury market rate already hits the streets. So what you're looking at is a remediation project on a site that is heavily contaminated from a manufactured gas plant site. And so they must spray this white foam to try to suppress the toxicant fumes that they're releasing into the air. And that's part of what the community has been fighting for, is proper air monitoring and tenting.
So they're basically stirring up
families living right here.
Yeah, they're stirring up all of the toxins, and their house is like literally right there.
House is right there, and
so here's another site in the same area. You can see the construction right there, where they're pulling toxic soil out of the ground and foaming it to absorb the toxins. So now we walked a little bit farther. That's the other side of this building. You can see the concrete plants over here. This is a really massive development that's being planned, and this is the start of the canal, and this is where we're going to take our walk. Okay, so here's the rain garden that was touted as some huge accomplishment. I don't really quite understand it, but we're right up against the canal, and I gotta say the fumes are pretty bad, like right here.
Yeah, but since the making of this rain garden that was supposed to mitigate flooding and be such a big benefit to Gowanus, we've had Superstorm Ida, which is catastrophic flooding all over New York City, particularly in Gowanus, killing one person who was found in the canal. And then the September of 2022 thunderstorms that devastated Gowanus too.
Just say your name, please.
Martin BC,
Thanks,
music
Martin.
recording studio owner.
Thank you. So one of the things I didn't know is that raw sewage gets dumped into the canal even to this day, and you can kind of see the remnants of it if you're looking closely. Yes, that is a condom, and it's called the local whitefish by the community. I'm going to go to see where the sewage flows in. Guys, I didn't know that you could jump raw sewage into water.
Well, it's overflow, but it pretty much happens every time it rains at this point. That the sewer system is over capacity, and it's not retained anywhere, so it goes right into the canal.
Okay, thanks, Mark.
So one of the things that the community didn't realize when the EPA declared the Gowanus Canal a Superfund in 2010 is that the Superfund program only dealt with toxins in the canal. It didn't deal, or the program doesn't deal with biological matter. So we were horrified to find out that we were going to get a cleanup of the Gowanus Canal that was not going to address the raw sewage that was still being dumped into the canal.
How much is being dumped?
Oh, it's over 360 million gallons a year of combined sewer overflow. Raw sewage flows into the canal right now.
Wow. So basically, the EPA went ahead and the same group that I was a part of, same group of community activists, went back to the EPA and to all of our elected officials and said, not like that. You can't ignore the CSO. And because of our advocacy of basically the Gowanus Canal is the very first Superfund that also deals with combined sewer overfill.
And here we go. There you go, EPA Gowanus Canal Superfund. Cleanup underway. I don't know, I'm not looking at any cleanup here. I'm seeing bikers and people walking across, but I'm not seeing a cleanup. This is the location of the deeply affordable housing, the only one apparently that is scheduled for the Gowanus site, and next to the most toxic one, according to the people I'm talking to. And very fascinating. I mean, come on, people. This is just such bad policy. It's really unbelievable.
Well, it's basically all of the agencies let us down as a community. Granted, they're building new buildings right here, but this has been a community for 150 years. But when the city first wanted to rezone this area, we knew it was polluted, we knew the canal was polluted, yet our politicians at the time wanted to go ahead and build, and at this point, we're playing catch up because of the fact that the community keeps on talking about the fact that our health has been impacted. Finally, the state and the city are investigating a little bit more, and what you're looking at are basically groundwater monitor wells where DEC has been sampling the groundwater and has found out that we have an incredible intrusion of very dangerous gases that are coming into the buildings. Problem is that we have been systematically lied to by our city agencies and by our politicians. We have been neglected when we brought these issues to the people who actually could have done something about it. What they're doing now is what they should have done at least 15 years ago when they first talked about rezoning this area. Instead of making sure that everybody is safe in this neighborhood, we're building more building, bringing more people into an area that is potentially dangerous for you.
So, in other words, build first, ask questions later.
Yeah, you would think that they would actually build the infrastructure before all of the development, but in fact, it's the reverse. The developers have received different tax abatements, both through the 421A program and through the brownfield program. That means that they're actually not paying in for major infrastructure that the area needs. The sewer system here is already well over capacity, and they're going to bring in tens of thousands of new residents. So it's going to further pollute the canal. And then on top of that, they're not cleaning the land. So you used to have all this toxicity that's still in the land. It's not cleaned up before they're building. So it's a public policy disaster. I mean, you'd think we'd be making this stuff up. There's so many problems layered on top of each other.
This is Outer Borough Stories with mayoral candidate Jim Walden. I'll see you in your neighborhood where I plan to listen to you.